Hey everybody, Jason here. For sorry, I thought my thing was out of focus there, which I think it might still be. My top 10 RPGs of 2019, books that I have acquired, whether through Kickstarter, at the friendly local game store, print on demand, drive through RPG, used bookstores, or whatever. So we're on number, let's see, 1090, so books number 6 and 5. And number 6, we have Orc, 2nd edition, by Green Ronin. Sorry if there's a little glare there. See if I can get this better over here. Yeah, there's a glare, I apologize. This is Orc, 2nd edition, by Green Ronin. I actually, way back in the day, I want to say the early 2000s maybe, Green Ronin had released a, I've still got it around here somewhere. I don't know where it's at. It's on one of my shelves somewhere. Orc, 1st edition. And it's this silly little kind of fun game where you play an orc and you're basically in the service of the orc god Crom, and you just have to survive and do. It's just a very silly, tongue-in-cheek, kind of goofy, beer and pretzels kind of game. Was how it was originally labeled, and I never got a chance to play it. Unfortunately, I still have the original book. I want to say Chris Promise wrote it. Chris Pramis, I'm not sure to say his name, and I think that's who wrote it. Or no, Todd Miller. I think Todd Miller wrote it originally. Anyway, Todd Miller and Chris Pramis and Rob Toth wrote this version of it, the 2nd edition. And as you can see, this is a thick little hardcover book. The original was a very short book, less than 100 pages. This is 150 pages or so. Including the character sheet, 159 pages. And it's just, set aside heroic acts and thinking too hard. That's not how the orcs get things done. What you need is a blood-soaked combat system and other lesser rules to guide you toward orcish fame and fortune. Toss in a heap of deadly adventures for you to mindlessly hurl yourself into, and you have everything you need to get started with the carnage. Orc, the role-playing game, plops you into an unruly world crammed full of mayhem and violence, most of which will be your fault. Don't expect your orcs to live too long. That's not the point of this game. The point of them is to die spectacularly and funny and gruesomely and just have a ton of fun, and it's just a let-off steam sort of game. Uses just nothing but D6s, which is cool. It's a very simple little system. Actually, I'll show you the character sheet. See if you can see that very well. This is a fantastic little book, released by Green Ronin, and I waited and waited and waited for this to actually hit my friendly local game store, and when it did, I immediately snatched it. I went there to get something else. Saw this on the shelf, and I was went there to get a Fantasy Flight Games Star Wars supplement. That shit was out of my mind completely, and I immediately snatched this off the shelf because I knew they would be hard to find at some point. Don't know if I'll ever get to play it, but it's a great read. It's a very fun read. It's very silly. It's a great read. Highly recommend it. That's book number 6. For book number 5, this was tough because this was almost much higher on my list. But again, this isn't, until I get to the top 2 or 3, this wasn't a list about what game was higher on the list than others. And I had a ton of books on my list. And it was hard to pick a top 10. It really was. But a book from Free League Press. I was part of the Kickstarter for it, and I could not be happier with how it turned out. The system, production-wise, how great it reads, everything about this, every penny I spent on it, because I got the deluxe set with a Game Master screen, big map, dice, counters, a printed supplement adventure, and a hardcover book. Everything was worth every single penny, and I'm very glad that I jumped on this Kickstarter, and that is the Alien RPG by Free League. I opted to get the standard cover and not the Kickstarter exclusive cover because I feel like this artwork is so amazing that I just had to have it. The Kickstarter cover exclusive was pretty cool. Don't get me wrong, it was really cool. It's kind of textured, but there was not really a whole lot of art on it. It was more textured than art. And this just sets the tone for everything. This is a fantastic book. How many pages is this? A lot. 392 pages. And it's such an easy read. I'm, gosh, not quite halfway through it, but I'm getting there. Maybe a third of the way through it. And it's an easy read. Fantastic read. It's 392 pages. And honestly, if they changed the layout of this book, they could probably drop this to about 100 pages. I shit you not. Maybe 150. However, that being said, and it might make the book a lot cheaper because it's a lot less page count, less ink, everything else. However, that being said, I prefer it to be this big. I prefer the layout to be the way it is. I would rather have this amazing layout and stuff in this book the way it is rather than the information to be all cramped and text all cramped in and everything. I'll give you an example of what I mean here. Like, look at this. So there's a page of it. See all that text? See all that empty space? Every page is like that. Let's go up a few pages. See how much extra space there is? The whole book is like that. But, and maybe it's just because I've got a hard time retaining information, and I'm a little older these days, you know, so I don't remember things as well as I used to. But with the layout the way it is, and there's so little text per page, I process it easier. My brain retains it easier. It's easier to reread if you have to. It's just very, very easy on the eyes. It's also just the writing style is very easy to read. This uses just D6s. I've never played Tales from the Loop or Tales or Things from the Flood. I think it's called the sequel to that. But apparently it uses the same D6 system as that. Where you form a pool of dice, D6s. If you roll a 6, you succeed. Any 6s you roll above and beyond your initial 6 that you roll can just enhance your effectiveness of your success. It's very simple. This has everything, covers all the Alien movies, from Prometheus to Covenant, and then Alien 1, 2, 3, and Resurrection. Does not cover any of the Alien versus Predator stuff, and there is no Predator stuff in here at all. It's just literally the things that are set specifically in the Alien universe. It references a lot of the Dark Horse comics, a lot of the novels. It tries to keep anything written about the Alien universe in canon and keep it here. Too bad we don't have a RPG of that book right there, other than the old Army of Darkness book we used to, that, you know, was made back in the day. I'd like to play that right there and that right there. Anyway, yeah, Alien. That's number 5 on my list. So, thanks for watching. Let me know below if you've read either of these two books, Orc 2nd edition or Alien. Stop reading this, or stop watching this video and go buy this book. It's ridiculous. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you guys make some videos also on your top 10 list, and I will see you later. Peace.